Take your sorry ass out of my gym!
I'm not trying to quit! I'm not
Well, then
trying to
do
quit!
it, Joelle! I'm sick of just words. Talk. Shut the up!
Every time you want to quit, think about your father who's about to drop dead on a treadmill. Go! Go!
From video games to bootcamp spin-offs, The Biggest Loser was once everywhere. But behind the ratings, critics were sounding alarms, with one doctor even saying it was miraculous no one had died yet. The core show consisted of obese contestants competing to lose the most weight for a chance to win $250,000. But most regained the weight almost immediately. On the surface, the goal was weight loss.
You're the biggest loser, Roberto!
But many saw a cruel irony in the title.
The show was, at inception, meant to embarrass people that were overweight.
Behind the transformations were questionable workouts that landed contestants in hospitals, controversial weight loss methods, and a deeply flawed core premise.
What are you thinking right now? You thinking, what the have I done? Aren't you, Shay? Shay, get the up!
Many fitness professionals despise the show, not just for its effect on contestants, but also the viewers. It highlighted everything wrong with 2000s diet culture, which is why the show's downfall was almost poetic in hindsight. The Biggest Loser launched in 2004, inspired by an ad from an obese man pleading for a trainer to save his life. But instead of psychologists or long-term support, the show leaned on two trainers with no background in obesity medicine and a heavy dose of spectacle.
We had no idea what we were doing. It was all theoretical.
From the start, the show was built on shaky ground, and the consequences came fast.
It's week 1, season 1. And we're like, okay, I guess we're just gonna beat the out of these guys and see what happens.
I don't care if you both die on this floor. You better die looking good.
The exercise regimens on The Biggest Loser were brutal. Contestants were pushed for up to 8 hours of workouts a day under what was basically military-style supervision.
I'm gonna break your legs and beat you with them. Now get up.
It was so intense, contestants cried, hyperventilated, and vomited. Instead of treating this as a warning sign, the trainers actually celebrated it.
I don't know if Greg's proud of vomiting or not, but I'm proud that I made him vomit, and that's all that matters.
The underlying message was clear. If you weren't collapsing, you weren't trying. So of course, it led to many unnecessary injuries. 𝗕𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁 from overuse.
Squeeze, Tracy, squeeze.
She's not responding.
Her organs began shutting down, and she almost died in hospital. One contestant claimed, "I bled through my shoes in the first 3 weeks." Nearly every person on my season had injuries, because joint damage and stress fractures were not uncommon from the high-intensity exercise. And when the contestants would fall over, an earthquake effect was often added, to make it seem like their impact was causing seismic activity. Much of the training was enforced, with a mix of drill sergeants screaming,
What's the weakest link on this team? Everyone answer the question.
Laura.
Tell the truth.
Laura.
You have the ability to shut up and focus.
and then sudden empathy.
You are capable, and you are strong, and you are a really good person.
𝗕𝗲𝘁𝗶𝗴𝗴𝗲𝗀 was infamous for this.
It's fun watching other people suffer like that.
A lot of their methods were controversial and called out by personal trainers, watching on in shock.
Everyone goes for 30 seconds. You don't come off for 30 seconds, okay? That's all I'm asking.
I get the appeal of tough love, and I like to think these trainers did have good intentions. The extra push, evidently, is great for some people, and it can work well. But for others, like morbidly obese people, it does nothing more than put them off of fitness and increase the risk of unnecessary injury.
Guess what else is gonna hurt?
It might be worth considering whether this is appropriate for people who are brand new to exercise.
It can definitely go too far.
If you don't run, I will pull Alex on the floor and I will break every bone in his body.
For the public, the show glorified pain over progress, teaching that fitness had to be brutal to be effective.
Yes!
In reality, sustainable exercise is built on consistency, not unhealthy extremes. It's not surprising that a 2012 study in obesity found that watching The Biggest Loser made viewers associate exercise with pain and exhaustion, leaving them less motivated to try realistic activity. I wonder why.
I don't
don't care if your neck breaks in half.
But if the workouts were punishing, the dieting was outright dangerous.
Having a prize of $250,000 to lose weight puts pressure on people to do things that might not be good for their health.
Contestants were eating as little as 800 calories a day. Doctors warned them it wasn't safe, but the only goal was rapid weight loss. So off camera, many resorted to desperate measures just to stay in the game. Season 3 finalist 𝗕𝗏𝗁𝗁 said she spent the days before the final living on sugar-free jello and asparagus, layered up in a sauna to sweat out water weight. By the final weigh-in, she was severely dehydrated, but she was just one of many contestants who admitted to the same tricks. Some even swished water in their mouths just to spit it out, desperate to shave off a few extra ounces. Season 1 winner Ryan Benson confessed he had fasted and dehydrated himself so severely that he was urinating blood. Years later, season 15 winner Rachel Fredrickson shocked viewers when she stepped on the scale, just 105 pounds. She had lost 155 pounds, around 60% of her body weight, in only a few months. Even Jillian Michaels admitted this one was a bit too far, later quitting the show, saying she was deeply concerned their health was being sacrificed for spectacle. But spectacle was the core premise of the show. Each week, contestants stripped off and stepped on a giant scale as a drum roll played. If the number wasn't high enough, the shame was visible.
Wow. I don't really know what to say. Sorry that I didn't get as much as you wanted. I see your face, see you disappointed.
Losing only 3 or 4 pounds often resulted in humiliation, all despite the fact that any trainer with an ounce of experience knows that weight loss will naturally fluctuate. It's never just a straight line.
I'm sorry, Red Team. I worked my butt off.
Then there were the challenges. In one, contestants were surrounded by mountains of food. The person who ate the most got a chance to see their family. In a different challenge, contestants were made to ferry piles of junk food with their mouths from one place to another for the audience's amusement. It looked a lot like humiliation, rebranded as motivation to many, which is why fitness writer 𝗕𝗏𝗁𝗁𝗲 described Jillian Michaels as a concern troll, someone who feigns concern over health as a cover for shaming people about their weight. At the very least, the show prioritized spectacle over the contestants' health at times.
Extreme weight loss goals can push people to extreme behaviours, so we shouldn't be surprised that some
former contestants are now claiming they were encouraged to use drugs to drop the pound.
There was a time that I was offered caffeine. They were called stackers.
Stackers contained a mix of caffeine and ephedra, a now banned stimulant, after it contributed to heart attacks and deaths. As one dietitian put it bluntly, the show doesn't support healthy behavior change. It rewards desperation and unhealthy extremes. This would become especially apparent in 2016.
News from the world of weight loss. Scientists followed contestants from the TV show The Biggest Loser, and they found that when the cameras went off, the weight often came back on.
A 2016 study followed 14 contestants for 6 years after season 8 and found a shocking pattern. By the 6-year mark, 13 out of 14 had regained substantial weight. 5 contestants were even heavier than before they went on TV. On average, participants had regained over 90% of their lost weight. Essentially, after all the suffering, they were almost back to where they first started. Season 8 winner Danny Cahill, who had lost an enormous 239 pounds, regained about 100 pounds in the years after, while season 1 winner Ryan Benson admitted that by 2017, 13 years after his victory, he actually weighed more than when he first auditioned.
Dina Mercado was also part of the study. She was 248 pounds before the show, down to 173.5 pounds at the end, and now back to 206 pounds.
Naturally, people wanted to know what was going on, so news sites rushed to cover the story.
According to the study, while the contestants all had normal metabolisms for their size at the start of filming, years after it was over, their metabolisms continued to slow down.
The press presented it as their slower metabolisms are what caused the weight regain. But if you listen to one of the original researchers, it's a completely different story.
No one reported it right. They were saying, oh, it's the slowing of metabolism that caused them to regain the weight. And we saw no correlation between those two things.
The contestants who kept the most weight off had the greatest slowing of metabolisms. Having a bigger appetite and a slower metabolism can absolutely make weight maintenance more difficult. But the greatest factor behind the weight regain was likely everyone returning to their old habits. The show conditioned contestants to see diet and exercise as punishment.
This is how uncomfortable I want you to be every single day.
When the camera stopped rolling and the support vanished, many returned back to where they first started.
I just slipped back into my old habits really quick within the next year or two, and within about 4 or 5 years, I'd put back on all the weight.
The show seemed more focused on entertaining viewers than helping contestants form lasting habits. Frustratingly, stories like this are often twisted as proof that diet and exercise don't work, or that obesity is an out-of-control problem. In reality, it was the Biggest Loser's extreme methods that encouraged contestants to fail. Fortunately, the world was slowly catching on. But first, a quick break from this cursed show to talk about doing weight loss the right way. If you actually want to get healthier, without crash diets or insane extremes, MacroFactor, the sponsor of this video, is one of the best tools you can use. It's more like a digital nutrition coach than a basic calorie tracker. You log your food and weight, and its algorithm adapts to your metabolism, giving you data-driven calorie and macro targets that adjust automatically. So there's no generic meal plans or starving yourself on a treadmill, because the goal is sustainable progress. It'll learn how many calories you burn, and then adjust your daily nutrition targets automatically. There's no forbidden foods, and it's not going to look at you like this guy, because it's built by people that understand perfect weight loss is never perfectly linear. If your metabolism slows down while dieting, there's no need to quit. The app catches it and keeps you on track. I've used this long before they were doing sponsors. It's genuinely a solid product, and I trust their algorithms a lot more than other apps on the market. And if you're still not sure, MacroFactor offers a 14-day free trial if you use my code 𝗕𝗲. So you can test it out for yourself and see how it adapts to you. So a big thanks to MacroFactor for sponsoring a portion of this video.
The Biggest Loser is a big ratings winner. The show has actually brought in an estimated $100 million in just the last year.
The Biggest Loser grew to be more than a TV show. It became a global franchise. Australia, India, Germany, and the UK all launched their own versions. There were cookbooks, boot camps, online programs, and merchandise. It was a money-making machine, but reality was slowly catching up with reality TV. Multiple contestants returned home with eating disorders, and there was supposedly no real aftercare or support, despite the show attempting deep emotional work without anyone actually qualified to do it.
I would add a therapist in. There would be no eliminations. I'm fine with them quitting. People quit in real life. They shouldn't be losing money for weight. That's fundamentally a catastrophe.
Numerous fitness professionals spoke out about the show, warning that it glorified extreme weight loss, while fueling the belief that obesity is purely a matter of willpower, a mindset that can foster blame and disordered practices. Even the American Council on Exercise cautioned that it left viewers with distorted views and dangerous expectations. So by 2016, after 17 seasons, NBC quietly shelved The Biggest Loser. In 2020, they attempted a holistic reboot, but critics tore it apart. One journalist called it zombie-like and out of touch, while viewers lost interest. Everyone wanted to distance themselves from 2000s diet culture, as highlighted by Netflix's Fit4TV, which revealed the many failings of the show. Jillian Michaels was so shaken by it, she suggested she was considering legal action. It all got a bit messy. But the main takeaway is that sustainable progress doesn't come from needless torture. It comes from building habits, designing systems, and finding motivation that actually lasts when the cameras are gone. That's why the show's collapse felt fitting. It sold the idea that suffering and willpower were enough, that shame-fueled exercise is the best approach to weight loss. But in the end, the only thing The Biggest Loser really lost was its credibility.